good. So Colin Best, Chuck Charlton, we're here at Spectrum Airways.
Yeah, ready for another takeoff to give you some idea of what's happening in Milton, anywhere from the Boyne survey right up to Milton Heights today. And we should highlight some of the projects such as the Milton Hospital, the underpasses, and the new Tremaine Road.
And we've set the bar pretty high in previous episodes, so what are we going to do today to make it that much better?
We could do some aerobatics, Chuck could do his first parachute jump, who knows?
Sure, that's great.
We haven't told Melissa that, have we?
And we have a great day for flying too,
Yes,
so maybe
yes.
we'll get less shake today. Maybe
Yes,
that'll be our
definitely,
goal.
yes.
Okay,
that's great. Here we go.
If you're gonna puke, you probably shouldn't record this. That'll get me in trouble. Don't smoke in the aircraft won't smoke on you. Don't touch the controls or I'll elbow you in the face. And do you have any questions?
no, we're great.
You're good?
How about you, Colin? You're good?
Yeah, that's fine. If we're not supposed to smoke from the airplane, how come we got ashtrays?
This airplane is from when you could smoke in airplanes.
So that's a real concern. When the airplane's older than the pilot.
Oh, most of these airplanes are older than the pilots.
Yeah, that's another scary part.
Except for the old pilots.
Yeah.
Welcome to the fourth flight over Milton. My name is Chuck Charlton from MiltonDailyHomes.com.
And Colin Best.
Councillor.
Councillor, Meadowtowne tour guide today. This is our takeoff. This is August 2015. Chuck and I have had the pleasure of flying over Milton almost annually here. This is our Chase, our pilot. Great name for a pilot. It is taking off from Burlington Air Park, heading north towards Rattlesnake Point, and we'll be soon coming over the urban Milton area. The objective of today's flight is updating everyone on what's happening in Milton in terms of the Boyne survey, the hospital, and various projects to them. That's a shadow. It just shows how big our plane is. 3-seater is about all we can manage in this plane, so don't ask for a ride. We're just heading off along the North Burlington area, in the rural area, and just turning off to the east towards the Velodrome. Chuck, maybe you want to mention something about the escarpment in rural areas of western Milton.
Yeah, we're going to see this as one of the themes in the video, but really anything west of Tremaine is protected land, more or less. It's Niagara Escarpment Commission. We're not going to see a lot of development there. Even to the east, obviously, we have Mississauga. We've got some business lands to the north and the east, but south is really where Milton is growing, and we're going to see pretty aggressive growth in the next 10 years. And we'll talk a lot about the Boyne survey, which is between Louis St. Laurent and Britannia.
Yeah, we're just coming up on the Velodrome. You can just see that big white dot in the middle there. We've actually put a Milton name on it so that when people are flying into Milton, they can actually see where we are.
We're trying to put a Colin and Chuck on top of there.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
I don't think that.
Yeah, no. Basically, it's going to be added to because it's known as the Mattamy National Cycling Centre. We have the Canadian Cycling Association and Canadian Basketball Association having their offices there. And as comes September 1st, the town's taking back from the Pan Am Committee on this. You can just see the setup for the Parapan, which is going to be cycling through town on August 13th. We're just right over top of the Education Village, which is 150 acres the town owns, which we're hoping to have Laurier University come in the next few years, as well as possibly Conestoga College. We're just looking north towards Bell's School Line there, and you've got Spring Ridge Farms, and you can see Tremaine Road off to the right there. This is part of the what's called the Sherwood survey of the neighborhoods of the Scott and Harrison area. You can see Milton right on top of the Velodrome there, and the tents around the building. It's going to be quite the few days. Canada's won a few gold medals already in the Parapan Olympics here at the Parapan Games, and it's going to be quite something for future games as well as individuals. You can get certified, so Chuck and I can go for a cycling race soon.
There we go. Yeah, and a bike that has no brakes, as I've been told, right?
Yeah, well, that's not. This is a Tremaine Road. It's been widened to 6 lanes, so in the future we can have HOV and bus lanes on the because we're trying to get the lorry. And one of the requisites that the province has told municipalities is you have to have a good transit system because students don't usually drive a lot of cars. So
yeah, a lot of the roads are actually it's Halton region that's responsible for those roads. I think that's something that a lot of people don't understand is the different levels of government and who's responsible for what.
Yeah, the major roads are all regional, such as Tremaine, Highway 25, Jamestown Parkway, Britannia, and Steeles and Derry Road. You're going to be seeing a lot of changes over the next few years as we're trying to get ahead of the construction rather than being 5 years behind. We're just circling around the Velodrome, and you can see there's still a bit of landscaping work to be done here.
You got a nice swimming pool right behind the Velodrome.
That's a stormwater. Not so much.
That's stormwater.
You could skating rink in the wintertime.
Right.
But we're just looking off to your top right corner is part of the Boyne survey to the east of Tremaine Road. This is between Louis St. Laurent and Britannia Road that Chuck mentioned. There's a number of applications coming in the next few months the council will be reviewing. And you're looking at total the first phase from Tremaine over to Highway 25 of 6,000 homes built by about 4 different builders. In this area here you have the Conservatory Group, Mattamy Homes in the middle, and also Great Gulf Homes. They'll be starting construction probably next year depending on the approvals. Now coming up with the Tremaine Road traffic circle, which is a great way to get around town. This is the third of 4 traffic circles. The new one at Steeles and Tremaine will be open at the beginning of September. So
and what's our lesson with traffic circles?
Make sure you turn right.
Turn right.
Yield to traffic inside the circle. I've seen a few near misses there, but it's great because you don't have to stop and you don't have to worry about traffic lights failing on you. So you can actually pace. This is looking off the first quadrant here of the Boyne survey. There's basically 4 quadrants in this area between Tremaine right over 25, and you have a number of builders that not only have to build this area but also have 2 schools hopefully going in the center, which we're talking to the province about, the rail line in the center, which we'll talk about further, as well as getting over this area. You have Fieldgate Commercial is looking at developing a small commercial plaza opposite Sobeys, the southwest corner opposite Jean Vanier School, as well as a number of other developments in this area, including a high school. You can see just past Bronte Street South is the new construction under there on both sides by Mattamy. They're looking at building about 2,000 homes in this quadrant starting next year. Chuck, do you want to mention something about this area?
Yeah, I mean, even Brandhaven is starting to sell townhouses, even though they don't have a full green light yet. Yeah. But, I mean, this is really going to be a very interesting area because I think that most of the development has been around the core of what existed in Milton. This will be a whole other level of separation from the rest of the town. So I could see this south of Louis St. Laurent really having its own identity. You know, the Boyne will really be something different than we've seen so far.
Yeah, we're coming up to Highway 25 off to the left there. What in this whole area, which is now coming up to the Phase 2 lands to the east of Highway 25, is another 8,000 homes. This is looking for approval in the next 2 to 3 years. This is again about 4 major builders. One of the nice things about it is all the forest lands and the creek valleys were preserved. You're looking at about 13 different commercial areas, so you can actually walk to possibly to work and to shop rather than have to get in your car, as well as retaining a lot of the heritage homes in the area. The Britannia Road is ambitious to be widened to 6 lanes over the next 5 years, and basically trying to weave around the little Omaha community. And now we're just heading north on Thompson Road. Chuck, you want to mention about going north in this area?
Yeah, well, going north, I mean, we're starting to, just to the left, we'll see the Coates neighborhood, and then a little bit to the right as we start moving up here, we're going to see the Beatty neighborhood, known for really anything on the east side for the new developments, much more settled, the schools, you know, there's not a lot of transition. There's still portables because we've got this almost like a baby boomer rush of children that won't always be in the neighborhood. This is Kennedy's Circle right here, and I'm looking forward to the day when it's actually a circle, not a semicircle.
It's coming. Fieldgate Commercial owns the southeast corner. They're looking at putting a Freshco grocery store there, plus some of the small vacant lots you still see around the north side of Louis St. Laurent, planned for a church, possibly some office space on Thompson Road, and other medical buildings, because one thing that we find is professionals and other commercial areas come in after the residential is so those people thinking of Costco's coming to town, you may have to wait a few years. We're just still heading north on Thompson Road. You can see how everything's filling in, and actually some of the trees are getting nice and mature. This is the Union Gas Trail off to the left there. which we'll be returning to later. That's going to be the major east-west walkway and trail, which is great for cycling. We're just coming up on the Timberley area, which Chuck, you might want to say something about.
Yeah, you can see the difference just in visual appearance from the Coates neighborhood. We've got Clark to the right, and then we have Timberley here with, you can see the mature trees. The homes are a little further apart. So that's, I mean, the buyers for those two neighborhoods are sometimes very mutually exclusive. They want different things. But no, it's, I mean, this entire stretch along Derry, I mean, Derry underwent its changes a few years ago. You know, both areas are known for having very strong schools. We're just coming up to the intersection of Derry and Ontario, which could look a lot different.
Yeah, we're looking at the southeast corner of the former car dealership there. That's being proposed for some future uses, so you might see some signs there in the next few years. But before you comment or hear rumors about it, wait to see signs. Until there's signs there, nothing's happening. Coming up to the Milton Sports Centre with the community park and also another retail area that will be starting construction. The town former fire hall will be coming down very soon, and possibly a new restaurant area there. And now looking off to your center of the picture is the hospital expansion. You can see it's tripling in size, and there's a lot of construction for the next 2 years there. Chuck, you might want to highlight what the impact of the hospital is on this area.
Well, there's so many different ancillary things that come with a hospital, so we're probably going to see some medical buildings around here. We've already seen some seniors residences that have come in, even restaurants. I mean, between the hospital and the sports center, there's really not a lot. You mentioned there's a couple restaurant plans there. There's nowhere to eat, right? There's nowhere good to grab a burger south of Derry, so we're hoping things will change.
That will change very soon. And also, you just see off to the right there is the new Seasons retirement home. That's one of the nice things that we have from a lot of people that are retiring that need hospital services. They're very close by, as well as the Birkdale retirement community in the center. You're seeing a lot. This is, again, the Union Gas Trail, which will be having a pathway next year, as well as the new dog park. I understand it's called Central Bark, which is a play on the dog lovers there. It's
nice.
Looking at a number of, all going to the north to the schools, and as well as there's the Anne MacArthur School. You might notice that some of the portables have now been taken away for the new Boyne Community School, which is going to help take some of the pressure off these schools. And also you have the Sunnymount Park off to the center there. That old house there is possibly coming up for sale. The town's looking at having someone to restore the house and basically bring it to its greatest potential on the site. There's the hospital again. You can see how large it is compared to the existing hospital. And heading north in the Bronte Meadows neighborhood, if you want to say something about this.
Yeah, Bronte Meadows is very excited about their new splash pad. The park has undergone some very positive changes. We're drifting. This neighborhood was predominantly built kind of in the 80s, and then just north of here, as we're crossing this zone, we're starting to see the old part of Milton, where there's a huge demand for those nice 66 by 130-foot lots. We've got the fairgrounds just over on the left-hand side, and we're seeing so many of those homes, original structures that are either being gutted inside or they're just being ripped down and another home put up.
Also, some of the older streets, as Wakefield Drive in the center, are being restored, and basically new services and a new park there. We're just having over the Allendale property, the Milton Mall, which, yes, the rumors are true. Lowe's is taking over the former Target store, and they could be doing some renovations and expansions there, so we'll be seeing a lot of activity in this area. The Nipissing Road Main Street, which is just see the underpass there, that's going to be completed in September, and much to everybody's delight. And you'll be seeing a lot of changes in this area. The town works yard is now vacant. The town's looking at selling that, as well as there's a lot of vacant land on the south side of Main Street, which is going to be developed very soon. We have the Jasper condos starting construction possibly next month for a 12-story condominium apartment building, and other ones in the works. Chuck, you want to highlight this area?
Yeah, well, I mean, Ontario has said to all the municipalities, specifically in this case Milton, is you have to have more density of jobs, density of housing. And so Main Street's going to become a very important part of that puzzle. And we've got the access to the GO train. Just to the bottom left is the Green Life building. And then we're crossing over 81 and 100 Mill side, Mill Pond, and then we've also got our famous gazebo. It just looks like a little blip in the radar there. Rotary Park is just below here. And then we've got some of the beautiful streets like Victoria, Mill, and then crossing over the train tracks, there's the other Green Life building.
Just flying now over the new escarpment park. This is a new 150-acre park the town's acquired. You can see some of the former clay fields. This actually used to be a brickyard at one time. And now looking towards Milton Heights, Steeles Avenue, and the industrial area north of Steeles, what the town and the region are attempting to do is trying to get at least half the people that are living in town working in town, so people don't have to commute as much, and basically increasing as much employment as well as transit and education, so that people can basically grow up, live, work, and retire in the same community without having to move. You can see some of these larger buildings here, and we're also attracting new businesses. There are a number of expansions now on Market Drive and also into the north area of north of 401. This is now Peru Road, looking towards Steeles Avenue. The new Tremaine Road traffic circle, which should be open in September, is planned to be expanded north to under the underpass of the CP tracks and then connect up with the 401 by the year 2018. It's going to take about 3 years to do all this construction. Looking down on Tremaine Road to the south, just flying over the other new park the town has, is formerly known as the Janik Lands. It's an old brickyard, about 300 acres, stretching from Peru Road right up to the escarpment. So it's going to be quite the passive park for a number of walking trails and other facilities there the town's going to be planning over the next few years. And just looking to the east now along Steeles Avenue and also seeing some of the properties along Tremaine. Chuck, did you want to say something about this area?
Well, I mean, this whole Milton Heights area, it's funny, even people that live in Milton don't always know about Milton Heights, but it could undergo a lot of changes. There's large tracts of land that are owned by developers, and I know there was a municipal board hearing earlier this year, and so we might find that this area changes quite a bit. Just passing right over Given Lane and Main Street right here, we've got the Main Street roundabout, but anything on this side of Tremaine in general is Niagara Escarpment Commission protected, so this is going to remain mostly the way it is. Lots of farmland, which I think is one of the charming things about Milton, is that we're not just going to keep growing. Is that we're reaching a physical barrier on the west side.
Yeah, and also you can see that a lot of land at the bottom of the picture is actually going to be a new commercial area with a gas station that should be starting construction next year. The Sherwood Park with Milton's first cricket pitch, which is quite well used, and also this new green area between Scott and Savon on the north side is going to be home for the Sherwood Community Center. We're looking at a branch library, community center, and possibly an indoor pool. That should be decided later this year for construction. Now looking north, you can see the Kelso Quarry Park off to the left, the Escarpment Park, which is all this area with a green forest on one side and the CNR tracks, the Green Light Building, and also some of the developments on Brawley Street. Brawley Street's going through a real renaissance right now, that you're seeing a lot of new employment and apartment areas being built, as well as the renovations or expansion of current housing in that area, and also just heading down towards Chuck's office. You want to make a few things?
We're at 450 Bronte. If you ever want to stop by for a visit, grab a hot or cold drink with us. But even, I mean, our building was built by Delridge. Green Life, that brand, is really all about geothermal heat, solar panels, really a concept called net zero, which is building a building that creates more energy than it uses. And that's a very exciting concept in building.
Yeah.
We hope more builders would adopt that.
Just past the Dairy Heights Commercial Center, you see the hospital in the center there.
Hospital, yeah.
Seasons. We're just heading down Broad Street South. Again, you can look at the Union Gas Trail, which is a great green path. You can see way in the distance there. So it's a long walking trail, which is going to be a great asset to the town in terms of linking all our parks and trails. Heading now down to the corner of Louis St. Laurent and Bronte, where you see the Sobeys Plaza, as well as Charlton School and the new Boyne Community School, which will be open this September. And you can see the other side of the Boyne area, where these homes should be occupied sometime next year, and also see the Brant Haven sales office. We're looking down the CN railway tracks, where that white building is in the middle. That's basically where CN is proposing their entrance for about 800 trucks a day into a residential neighborhood, which is one of the concerns that the town and the region has, as well as the Conservation Authority, because we have streams running through this property, and they're looking at developing 400 acres. We have a number of concerns which are going to the Environmental Assessment Board about. And then we have the rural area to the south of the Milton, which is quite protected because you have Greenbelt areas, you have the creek areas, as well as basically what we call an urban separator between Oakville, Milton, and Burlington, so that people don't feel that they're all part of one big sprawling mass. We want to try and keep some separation so you know the community you live in.
And even farmland as well. I mean, looking at preserving some of that. I mean, you and I have talked about how, depending on the supply chain, is we may not get fruits and vegetables at certain points during the year from from the U.S. and other countries.
We look at the drought conditions that are happening in California and the southwestern United States. This is a concern a lot of farmers have that they want to try and preserve farmland. We're just heading back now into the Boyne Air Park, heading to the north. You can see how much farmland is around the Milton area, which is a great asset. That you don't feel like you're closed in. You have places you can actually go out to the conservation areas such as Rattlesnake, Kelso, Mountsburg, and Crawford Lake, but still come back and have all the services close to Toronto. And this is one of the great assets to the pilots here at Burlington Air Park. And they can do all sorts of charter work for you, and we use them annually for updating you on what's happening in the Milton and Halton area.
Yeah, if you want more information about the flight, because it's actually a lot less expensive than I would have ever imagined to go up on a fun flight like this. It's really quite a good time. It's safer than driving on the 401. You go to spectrumairways.com and they'll give you a lot of helpful information, or even if you want to fly the plane yourself.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's for sure. There's a number of pilots in town, and that's the benefits of being close to the Pearson Airport is that you've got people that can have access, and that's what makes Milton an attractive place for a lot of businesses.
All right, so we're going to wrap it up. That was the 4th flight over Milton, and I think that was one of the best ones ever.
Yeah.
Colin Best, Chuck Charlton. Have a great day.
Yeah, so, this is part of our flight, just to figure out where you went if you're not a little disoriented. We took off from the Burlington Air Park, just off of Bell School Line, that's in Burlington. And we flew over Britannia, around the Velodrome, and just highlighting what's now the Parapan games on, and just flying down along Britannia Road, taking pictures of the Boyne survey. This is the Boyne area here, which is under construction right now, and just highlighting all the construction activities there. And then flying up Thompson Road, we went over the Timberlea neighborhood, circled around EC Drury in the Drury Park area, along Main Street, the underpass, through downtown, up in the old part of town, across through Milton Heights, and also took pictures of the new interchange. In case anyone's wondering, this is the new Tremaine Road realignment and traffic circle, which will be open in September, which will eventually go out to connect up with the 401 with the new interchange here in Dublin Line. And then we just flew back over Chuck's office here, and then back down through the area, taking pictures of the new hospital construction, which is at the corner of Bronte and Derry Road, and then back to the airport. So in case you're following the video, you can see exactly where we went, and we'll be seeing more updates, and I'll be sending pictures to Chuck so he can highlight exactly what's going on.